So hi everyone. I hope you all are doing fine, right? We will get started with whatever we have left so far. So maybe I'll take a quick recap session on what we have done so far. Okay, so you can also confirm whether you are in understanding all these things. Okay, so yeah, so let's say I have three different stuff. Okay, so this is our client. This is our client. So this is our Apm client that we are setting up in our Eclipse or your IntelliJ IDE, and then we use Apm Java client library in order to construct the commands, and then we will send it to the Apm server. Right. This is what we are doing, and this is your Apm server, which basically listens to all the client instructions. Okay, it listens all these things, and then it will delegate to different devices. Okay, so we have different devices here, and then it deliver it to them. So one among them is how we also learned how to do the setup in the a physical device or your real devices. Okay, then we also learned how to do that in emulator or your Android virtual devices, and also we have learned how to do that in browser stack. Okay, so this is the basic stuff that we have done, and we also understood that client sends all the requests, whatever the commands that we are sending will be constructed in a form of JSON, and then it will be sent to it will be constructed in the form of JSON, and it will be sent to server. The same way, your Apm server sends commands to your devices, get the response back, and give it back to the client. So this is how the whole architecture works. I hope this makes sense. If anyone doesn't understand this, please let me know now. Right, guys, can I get a confirmation, because this is very important. If you have doubts, we'll stop it here, and then we'll solve the doubts before we head further. Okay, let me assume that you don't have any doubts, and then I also want to cover one more thing. That's you can cover your we have used the Apm server, right? This comes bundled with all the stuff that you need. Okay, it comes with your Node.js, all the node modules that you need to run your test. Okay, there are other ways. We are using Apm desktop as our Apm server, right? You can also use command line interface, Apm server in command line interface. That is the only thing that that I have to cover, but this is just an highlight that we need to cover this. Okay, how we can run Apm server in a command line interface. Why I'm not covering this is because we don't have the need to do it now. Once when we need an integration with Jenkins or something like that sort, then I will also cover how we can do this. Okay, at the end of the course. If I forget, please let me know that you have forgot to cover this, and then I already make a note of it so I don't forget. But anyways, yeah, we'll cover this at the end. So once you are done with all this stuff, right, then you are almost done with your Apm. Okay, now we have also launched a native app in our devices. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mobile browser testing. So we're going to launch the Chrome browser in the mobile, and then we're going to automate the mobile web, automate mobile web. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, so this is what first we're going to cover here. Okay, okay, now let me quickly walk through this code. Whatever I have written, it's a very simple piece of code. Maybe you can take this code from your this is the code that you normally use, right? So let's copy till here, and then let's create a new test class. Okay, Chrome test. Okay, everything remains the same, just small changes. Okay, let's just for now give test1 as the name. Guys, please go on mute, I can hear some noise. Yeah, good. So what I'm going to do, I just copy pasted whatever the stuff that I had. Okay, and now our intention is to run our test on Chrome browser. Okay, Chrome browser. So you all can decide what are all the capabilities that we need and we may not need. Can anyone wants to try what capabilities you may need, or what capabilities you don't need? Can we just take out what are the capabilities that we don't need? Anyone want to try? Hello. Okay, let me point someone. um Aditya, do you want to try which capabilities we may not need when when our intention is to run it on Chrome browser? Can you just give a try?
Chrome browser, okay, user API demo. Yeah, you want to we want to remove the 20th one.
Yeah, 20th line is not needed because
Not
that
native,
speaks about the native app. Very
native app.
good. What about
And
app package?
app package, API demos, even, yeah, 21st line, yeah, that also we need to remove.
That also
And
we can
yeah,
remove.
yeah, we need all these three. Yeah.
Yeah, now you know when you need which capability, right? So based upon the capability we will fix it. Now I want to add a new capability that tells that we want to automate the Chrome browser, correct? So for that, we're going to use something called as Android mobile capability type dot browser name. So we want to tell what is the browser, correct? So browser name, right? And now you can tell Chrome. That's it. Now in it can understand, that it needs to launch a Chrome. Okay, and if you have multiple versions of your Chrome browser in the device, then you can give the browser version. Otherwise your browser version is not needed. Obviously you won't have a multiple versions, right? So that is not needed. So let me also quick start my AVD, let's say my AVD manager, and then let me wipe out all the data. So sometimes if you feel you are installing too many apps in your emulator, you want to free the spaces, use the wipe data here. It'll wipe out all the unnecessary caches and cookies, a lot of stuff that what it stores. Okay, and now just spin it up, and so this is the basic set of capabilities we need. Maybe you can give your name a simulator, that doesn't matter. Anyway, what this is a capability that we are sending, but it will not use, Apm will not use this at all. Okay, but we need to send. Previously it is a mandatory property in the previous versions of Apm, but now it is not mandatory, it is not used. Maybe you can add just to distinguish your device. That's it. Okay, let's wait until the emulator kickstarts. Okay, but we need to do one small change. Okay, I'll come to that when we face some issues. Okay, because we are using Android driver, Android element. Okay, so Android element are very specific for your native apps. Okay, they are very specific for your native apps. So whatever the stuff that you are finding on a web page is web element. Okay, correct. So we have to use our old way of writing this thing. Okay, now how will I do an inspection? I have my browser here. How will I do the inspection? Suppose you want to work with Google on your mobile browser. You want to open mobile browser using automation, and you want to do some search. Then you can use their native way. Okay, just right click and inspect. That's it. Okay, now whatever the name that you are seeing here, it will work. It'll it's just normal way how you work. Okay, so in Selenium we found it using the the inspect element, right? The same way you can use it here. Whatever the properties, that attributes that work in your Selenium will also work in mobile browser and Apm. Okay, so there is no change in terms of this, but there are very special cases where your desktop version and mobile versions are will be different. Okay, in those cases, for example, let's say I am opening my facebook.com. Okay, uh, okay, sorry guys, this is a mobile version of it. Okay, now if you want to work with facebook.com, I don't know why it is telling like this. Okay, okay, now see, this is your desktop version. If I inspect this, okay, it is having a email or phone number as the placeholder, or the name or id is email. Okay, you can use this to automate in Selenium. But let's say if you want to automate this in mobile, if you open the Facebook in your Chrome browser, then it will come like this. Okay, add a m dot. Okay, m dot indicates that it is a mobile version of your facebook.com. Okay, now again I don't know why it is using Malayalam. I am not a Malayali. Okay, anyway, okay, so what's happening? So now if you do an inspection, this is your mobile version of it. Okay, if you notice, the ID is m_login_email. So if your browser is having a mobile version, you need to add m dot upfront, and then you need to inspect it. If you use a desktop version, it will tell just you would have used driver.find element by ID email, and it wouldn't have worked. Okay, so if your browser is having a specific mobile version, please load that here, and then you can use the dev console of your Chrome browser to inspect and then find the attributes. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, I think my stuff is up and running now. Let's go to the IntelliJ and we'll try to run the test and see what's happening. Let's understand. It will not work, I know, but let's understand what is the error. So my Apm server is receiving the comments. So, right. Now we have just launched only the uh, website. The Chrome browser is getting launched in our device. That's okay. Now we'll try to do something. Okay, driver.get. Okay, I want to load https colon google.com, something like this. And then I also want to do driver.find element. And here what I want to do, I want to find this using name q and dot send keys. Then let's say testing any bytes. Okay, and we also want to do some keys dot enter. Okay, basically I want to send it testing many bytes and then press enter. Okay, this is what I want to do. Let's try to understand what's happening. See, it has thrown some error. Okay, let's go here and then understand what is error. See, it is telling invalid argument, invalid locator. So you are trying some invalid locator like using name and then value as q. I don't understand what they say. So because this is the what I am telling. So we are previously working on native apps. So they are all part of your Android element. Okay, they comes under Android element. Their super class is your mobile element. But if you notice, this is web element. Okay, so you cannot hold it in a Android driver. Your reference variable needs to be a web driver like before. Okay, correct? Because all these classes coming here are all part of your web driver interface. Okay, so let's import that particular class file. And now here, if you also notice, this is Android driver, but we are not opening Android driver. We are actually opening a Chrome browser. Okay, but if you are opening the Chrome browser, we will never give URL. So how can I handle this? This is what the concept that we have, that is remote web driver. Okay, good. That's it. That's the only change that you have to do. So I know, I hope you all know how we, suppose if you want to run your test on Selenium grid, what we will do, we will use remote web driver and then we'll pass the URL, right? The same way we are now trying to run our test in a URL in a hub. Okay, Apm hub available in this particular URL. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm using remote web driver, as simple as that. We cannot use Android driver because Android driver is mostly specific for your native apps. Okay, so we cannot use that, and we cannot use new web driver equal new Chrome driver because the Chrome driver will only execute in your local desktop. Okay, so we want to delegate and run the test on a particular hub. Okay, then we need to use remote web driver. I hope you all know the hierarchy the day I have explained all these things. Okay, and now this is telling, since you are using web driver reference and remote web driver, you cannot use find element by name. This is very specific for your Android application. Then how can I use this? Then you can go to the normal way of find element, and you can tell by dot name. Okay, and then this is your older way of doing these things, right? That's it. That's the only change that you have to do. And guys, maybe if you want a small diagram on how that, say what I'm telling here. See, this is your WebDriver. Okay, WebDriver is a super class, super interface for all these subclasses. Okay, let's say your most of the implementation is coming from your remote WebDriver. Okay, this is your remote WebDriver, and then inside this remote WebDriver you have all the options. Okay, this is your Chrome driver. This is your Firefox driver, Opera driver, whatever the driver you want, everything is here. Now we also have one more class called as generic mobile driver. Okay, inside that we have lots of stuff like Control Z. I think let's go to the hierarchy and then check. Okay, if you go to the remote web driver, okay, notice. Okay, maybe I'll open Android driver. Android driver. Let's go here. If you notice, Android driver is extending Apm driver. So the hierarchy will draw the chart now. So this is your Android driver is extending mobile driver. So it means iOS driver is also there. That is also extending the mobile driver. Okay. And then now, what is this mobile driver? Apm driver. Sorry, Apm driver. And then this Apm driver is extending your default generic mobile driver. So default generic mobile driver. Okay. This is your Apm driver. This is extending default generic, what is that, mobile driver. Okay, and then this guy in turns your extends your remote web driver. Okay, so this guy is extending this guy. Okay, and then this is the hierarchy. Okay, now you it makes some sense, right? So previously working with native Android apps, we used Android driver. Now we cannot use the Android driver because we are going to interact with the mobile web elements. And then we are also going to delegate our tasks to a particular hub. The Apm server acts like a hub, so we're going to use the remote web driver implementation, and the web driver is as a reference. Okay, again you can also use remote web driver. Okay, that doesn't matter. Good. Now this is the stuff that we changed, and now let's try to run it. Yeah, so you got your answers correct. So this is how it works. Now there are certain things that we need to understand as well, because if you want to launch a Chrome browser, you need a Chrome driver. Okay? You need a Chrome driver if you want to launch a Chrome browser. In the previous versions of Chrome, in the previous versions of Apm, okay, you need to download the Chrome driver, and you need to set a path. Okay, let's say you are using something like this. Okay, I will go here, capabilities dot set capability, Android mobile capability type dot Chrome driver executable, Chrome driver executable, and then here you need to tell the path. Okay, let's say my Chrome driver.exe is here, then I need to give the path of this here. Okay, in the previous versions, but now Apm has improved a lot. So what it is doing, so it is finding the browser version at the runtime. So for each browser version you need a different capability, right? So it'll automatically finds, if you notice this particular settings, let's find out the Chrome version here about Chrome. Okay, it is 83 version of Chrome, so it will download the necessary Chrome driver and it will add it to the node modules. Okay, so you don't have to worry about downloading the Chrome driver. Previously it is not working, guys. This is the latest update. If you go to any Udemy course, any course you find, they will ask you to download the Chrome driver and put it in the path, because they have updated it now. And then this Apm keeps updating. You need to practice every time, once in 3 months or 6 months, so that you don't forget. Okay, Good. Now it will automatically download. How I learned all these things? Okay, I read all the Apm logs here, and then I found out the first time only it will try to find the version, and then it will download the Chrome driver. Okay, so if you notice web view version of Chrome view, and then it will also check whether it is having the Chrome driver, otherwise it will download it. Since for practice, since I did it yesterday, so it downloaded yesterday itself. Okay, so when you are trying, please note the Apm server logs. It will clearly tell, it will try to find the version, and then it will try to operate. Okay, so that's the only change that you have to do. Maybe we can also try to do facebook.com. While giving the facebook.com, you can give facebook.com, because we are going to launch this in a browser, so obviously it will render in a mobile view. Okay, now if I try to inspect this, okay, now we have id called as or no name. Okay, maybe you'll use an id, that's okay, id, and then we use this, and then let's say I don't want to press enter now, just I'll enter testing menu weights. Okay, that's it. So let's try to see whether it is launching this particular. Yes, I hope everyone knows Selenium. That's why, I'm not covering what is XPath, how to write XPath, what is by.id, all those stuff. It's very simple. Okay. So always your Apm logs is your friend. Please do read them. If you are beginner, if you are starting Apm, it's very important that you start with it. Okay. If you notice, it is telling testing menu weights. Okay. So now it is working. If you have normally inspected using facebook.com, it wouldn't have worked, because Facebook has different browser version and then different desktop version. Good. That's it, guys. This is what I want to cover for the Chrome browser. If you have any doubts, please ask your questions now. Hello. At least you can tell you don't have any questions, so that we'll go to the next one.
So whenever like Chrome driver is not installed, then automatically first time it will automatically download.
Yes. Yes, this is from the latest version. What are the version that we have added to our Apm client and the Apm desktop. If you're using latest version of Apm desktop only, this is possible. Okay, this is the Apm client, and the Apm desktop version I'm using is 1.21, I think. Okay, only this is possible in this. If you're using Apm Apm server, sorry, the Apm in a CLI, maybe this, I don't know how this works. Maybe when we cover the CLI part, we will do that. But when you try it, if it is not working, then what you need to do, you need to find the browser version here, and then download the compatible Chrome driver from your Chrome driver. You know how to download, right?
Right.
And then put it in the your
Line number 26.
Yeah, and then you need to add it here. Okay, you can add a new code, and then give the path here. Okay. Good. Now I'll keep it empty, but you can give the path here. Good. So this is how we can work with the Chrome browser. So this is very, very simple process, because you already know Selenium. Good. Now we have learned all these things. Next, what we want to do? Okay, let's try to take our browser stack. I'll use browser stack device for here on, from here on. Okay, because that's more easy. So we already know how to launch the app and do all the stuff. Now let's try to also do some more understanding about the locators. Okay, so we have used XPath to find these elements. Let's try to use other stuff that is available. Okay, we'll again go back to the stuff that we learned before, right? So we'll use the same API demos app. It's not there because I have wiped out the data. If you notice, I have wiped out my Android data, Android AVD data, so that the API demos is not available here. So maybe it'll be there in the browser stack. So we'll still go ahead, and then we'll use it. So I already have started an inspector session with my browser stack. Okay, if you know how to start this, right? So you need to give the desired capabilities. I have already saved the capabilities, so I have used it. Now what I'm going to do, let's say I want to click on this views. Okay, I have to click on this views, but I will try to use an accessibility ID. We'll see what is an accessibility ID. Okay, driver dot find elements. Okay, element by accessibility ID. Okay, This is the one. So there is also find elements. If you want to find multiple elements, you can use find elements. Now we want to find only one element. Okay. There is no, if you go to your inspector session, see it is telling accessibility. If you are using accessibility, then your timing will be very fast. They are telling. Okay. Okay. There is some problem with cannot read the property plant. Maybe I'll close the inspector session and then I'll again launch it. Start the inspector session. So Apm is not going to be as easy as your Selenium, but yeah, it'll be like that. So I have already saved the capabilities here. Let's say I have to go here. I have the capabilities already saved. Click on start session. But once you do all the setup, once you connect it to the device, everything going to be very easy. Okay. There are little tweaks, but if you have a good understanding on how things works, it will be very easy. Okay. Good. Now I have started to inspect my session, device available in the browser stack here. So I want to click on the views. That's my goal. Let's try to get the timing. I don't know whether it will work. Yeah. So if you notice, the accessibility ID is 190 seconds. It is much fast, 190 milliseconds. It will find this in 190 milliseconds. If you're using XPath, there is not much difference, guys. So you can, if you're comfortable using XPath, you can use it. So there is nothing called as accessibility ID here. See, this is element ID. This is index, package, class, text, content description. What is the accessibility ID? I don't know what is an accessibility ID. Whenever in native app they are telling accessibility ID, that means that is content description. Okay, so you can directly give accessibility ID, and the value of the accessibility ID is views. Okay, so you can use like this. So your accessibility ID is basically your content hyphen description. Okay, so as simple as that. So we can try to run the test and then this will work. Okay, let's see whether it is working. And then in the meantime, when the test runs, we also see how what else we have. Okay, so driver dot find elements, and then we have something called as name. Again, guys, these and all we cannot use. Okay, if we closely look, there is no property called as name. Okay, we cannot use all these things. They have created that if you want to work with Chrome browser and other stuff, but there is no way of using name here. Okay, then what else we can use? We can use XPath. Okay, XPath is, say, our test also got passed. Okay, I don't want to go to the video because it's just normal process, right? So yeah, if you notice, we can use XPath, but there is no CSS selector, because there is no CSS selector that is possible when using native apps. Okay, so you cannot use a CSS selector. So what are the combination that you can use? The first one is accessibility ID. Then you can also use XPath. Okay, and then you can give your XPath, that will work. Already we have used XPaths here. Okay, so I'm not giving the demo. Okay, so we can use XPath. Then what else we can use? Okay, we have something called as class name. Let's say whether we have some options for that. Driver dot find elements. Okay, if you notice, there is something called as class name. So you can use class name also to find the elements. Okay, but this is most probably this will not be unique. So this can be always used with your driver dot find elements. Okay. Okay, so that you can find all the elements at one go. So class name also you can use. Okay, this is your third one. Let's say give a empty string here. Okay, this is your third one. What else we can use? There is no driver dot find element by text. There is no that. So for content description, you have accessibility ID. For the resource ID, you can use like this. Driver dot find elements by ID will be there. Okay, so you can use the resource ID here. Okay, your resource ID. Okay, you can practice all these things, guys. I'm not telling going to work on all these things. See, resource -id is your ID, so you can copy this and then give it here. But in this particular app, everything is having the same resource ID, so this is not unique, so you cannot use this, or you have to find driver dot find elements, get the text, and then you can click on it. Okay, so this is basically the available options. Then what and all we have? Driver dot find elements, and there is something called as Android UiAndroidAutomator, and then Android data matcher, Android view matcher. Okay, Android view matcher is not applicable for Apm. This is only applicable for your Espresso. And now this Android data matcher is using it's little complex and nobody uses that, so we'll also ignore that. And now this is very important, that is Android UiAndroidAutomator. Okay, we'll understand what this is now. Okay, so in Selenium, okay, if you cannot do some operations, what we will do, we will use JavaScript executor, right? In Selenium we use JavaScript executor to basically inject JavaScript commands, correct? JavaScript commands to the browser. If something is not working using Selenium, we will directly send the JavaScript commands. For example, scrolling up, okay, scrolling up and down, okay, and then sometimes the click won't work, okay, then we will use the JavaScript click. So basically we will do all this stuff the same way. In if the Apm Locator strategy didn't work, okay, they have created one new strategy, that is find element by Android UiAndroidAutomator, where you can inject native Android commands. Okay, this is not applicable. This particular strategy will not be applicable for your iOS. This is not applicable for iOS device. Okay, so as simple as that. Okay, Android find element by Android UiAndroidAutomator. Okay, Amudan, you are telling about something, but I don't know how to use that. Okay, guys, let's go to the Appium slides that I have shared in the folders with you. So what is important? See, we have already learned all this stuff. You'll go to the UiAndroidAutomator section, and then if you notice, I have given the syntax for you. Okay, so this is the syntax, guys. Let's copy the syntax. Okay, you don't have to memorize this. Even if someone is asking me, I also don't know all these things. Okay, I cannot tell you new UI selector dot attribute value. No, I will forget as well. So now I will tell what is this. So basically, this UI Android Automator gives you an access to native Android commands. Okay, in native Android, we can find an element using attribute and its value. Okay, using attribute and the value. Now, suppose let's say I want to find an element using say text, and then I want to click on text. Okay, or maybe without confusion, let's take the views itself. So the text is views. Okay, then I have to use, instead of attribute, just use text, and the value I have to use views. Okay, that's it, guys. So that's the only difference. So if you notice, there is a double quote inside this part. There is a double quotes inside these two double quotes. So that's why we are using escaping those double quotes using the slashes. Okay, otherwise you don't need this. Okay, so native Android commands, just to replace whatever you want to replace the attribute name with the value. You can also tell content hyphen description with views. Okay, anything is fine. Now let's try to comment this out. Okay, let's try to comment this out. We don't need this at all. And then what else? The code looks little clumsy, right? So what I am doing, I'll do just cut this whole stuff. Okay, I don't need this whole stuff. Maybe this as well. I don't need it. Just press control extract as a method, and then get driver. That's it. Okay, now all these codes are moved away. Let's also cut this as well, and then keep it. Okay, so we focus only on the test now. Okay, so again, I also don't need this because I have already demonstrated how to work with XPath. So maybe I'll remove it. Okay, now we are only focusing on the UI Android Automator view. Okay, let's try to run the test now. But this basically runs in your browser stack, right? Okay, that's fine. Let's try to run it. So you can also view the video, but for now I'm not interested in the video. We can also go ahead and check it. So this is the previous video that we ran, and then it worked, it seems. Okay, so we clicked on the last element using the accessibility ID, so it worked. Okay, you can also view the video. So now the test is failed. We'll see why the test is failed. Okay, notice it is telling content hyphen UI selector has no content hyphen description method. Okay, let's try it with views. Just a minute. Okay, okay, I got the issue. What is the issue? Okay, I'll tell what is that issue, guys. Let's try with the text attribute now. Now the whole stuff got passed. Okay, now what is the stuff that we are doing here? See, new UV selector, which means suppose let's say we have a class called A, then what, how we will create object A equal to new A. This is what we will do, right? Again, if you are not interested in having a reference variable, we can create it as an anonymous class implementation, and then we will tell new and then the class name. Correct? That's what they are doing here. Instead of the class name is UI selector, they are telling new UI selector, because they need to create an object for a class in order to access the non-static method. They have a method called a text that accepts a string parameter. So using that only we are calling it. So basically we are actually creating a object for a class and then calling a non-static method called text and then passing a string value. Now when we used content hyphen description, it is telling that the content hyphen description is not available because this UI selector class does not have a method called as content hyphen description. So we cannot use it, it seems. Okay, let's go to the, I also have mentioned the slides here. Okay, if you notice, I have mentioned some Android developer references. Okay, copy this link. Guys, please go on mute. I see some noise happening. Okay, now I have mentioned this link here. If you go to this is an Android. So if you notice Android code, is everyone is in mute? Shyam Sundar, let me mute you. Okay, okay. Now if you notice, this UI selector is, see, it's a public constructor. It's a class. It has a constructor. It has some methods: checkable, checked, style selector, class name. So basically, you can use class name, and then you can use clickable, description, all these things to find. If you notice, we are using text. We are using the text. We are passing the text, and then it's telling set the search criteria to match the visible text displayed in a widget. Okay, so basically, we are using this particular method. And you can also use text contains, text matches, text start with, but there is no thing called as content hyphen description. That's why it didn't work. Okay, but basically you can use class name. Okay, now we can also try to use a text contains. Okay, let's see whether it is working. I have also never tried it. Let's try to use it. Okay, text contains, let's say view. Let's not give the full name, and then just give, there is nothing. Yeah, just give view. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so it's just up to you to learn like this, how the way I learn. Okay, nobody covers these Android commands and all, so they even don't know how, what is this Android UI Automator stuff. Okay, how this whole thing works, nobody explains, because they also don't go to the Android logs and then see how this is. Okay, so basically, but I'm just giving you an idea how I learn. Okay, so that you can also learn like me and then get a in-depth knowledge. Good, if you notice, it worked. So basically the text contains is also working. So we can also go ahead and try text to start with, text matches using regex also you can use. See, this is pretty cool, right? Using a regular expression to find an element. This is something that's really good. So we can use like this. So basically you can use Android UI Android Automator to do all this stuff. Then what else we can do? We can also use scrolling. Okay, we can also scroll using UI Android Automator. So for that, let's first click on this views. Okay, let's first click on this views, and then let's take a use case that I have to scroll from, let's say, here to here. I want to do some scrolling and then I want to do some operation. Okay, let's say I want to do some more scrolling, and then I want to click on let's say radio group. Okay, this is my whole stuff. Okay, that's my whole intention. Let's try to do it with the use of Android UI Android Automator viewer. Okay, that, see, they are also having one more class called as new UI scrollable. Okay, let's copy this. I'll tell you to work with it. We'll copy this one. So this syntax and all you don't have to memorize, guys. Let's just imagine that you have to understand how this works. That's it. So now you can easily understand there is something called as UI scrollable class. we are creating a new UI selector, and then there is a method called scroll into view, until which I want to do. I want to scroll into view until I find a text with whatever the value you want. So in my case, I want to scroll until I find a radio group, correct? So basically you can click on this radio group, and then so this is your text, copy it. I want to scroll until here. That's it. Just a minute. There is tab under is coming, so let's remove it and then type it manually. Okay, so now I want to scroll into the radio group again, guys. Where you find this? Let's go here to the Android Studio commands. There is something called as UI scrollable. If you notice, click on that. So in this UI scrollable, you have to pass UI selector, okay, in the constructor. That's why we are telling we are passing that. Let's say we go here, we are passing the new UI selector, okay, and then there is a method called scroll into view. There are a lot of methods here: scroll text into view, scroll into view, scroll into view, scroll forward, scroll something like this, scroll to beginning, scroll to end. There are a lot of stuff, but we are interested in to scroll text to scroll into view, and this scroll into view is accepting a UI selector. Okay, that's what we are telling. This is UI selector. So again, we are telling this whole stuff text to radio button. Again, guys, the previous code that we have written, we can cut short down like this. Okay, we don't need to mention it. Okay, basically, it can understand that it is a new UI selector. Okay, that will also work. The same way they have cut shorted this new, again, new. You have to actually write it like this. Okay, need to, if you want to write the full code, you have to write it like this. Okay, but instead of that, you can shorten the class name, and then you can write it like this as well. Okay, object, you can remove that, and then you can write it like this. Okay, so this will also work. We will also validate whether this is working and this is also working. Okay, let's try to run the test and see. And this time we will also see the video, so that we will get a good understanding how the scrolling happens. Okay, I have given everything in the slides, guys, so you don't have to worry about it. See, this is your full definition. Okay, using new UI selector and then attribute and then the value. Actually, this should be method name. Okay, method name. I was wrong so many days. That's okay. We have corrected it now. And now this is also method name. Method name. Okay, you can cut short down like this. Okay, instead of giving this, you can remove this and then you can only give that. The same way, this is your short version of it, and this is your longer version of it. Anything that you find interesting, you can use it. Okay, now let's go here, and then this is not the one that I want. Let's go to the build section. A few seconds ago, this was the one that ran a few seconds ago. So let's try to run that. So it clicked on views. It needs to scroll down now. Yeah, it's searching. So it found the radio group. It stopped the searching. Okay, maybe I didn't do the click operation. Okay, if you notice, I didn't do the click operation after finding the element, then you can provide the click operation as well. Okay, so this is how it works, guys. Okay, I'll run another test and then see whether it is clicking. Again, if you notice, this is the method name, right? You can also use text contains. Okay, whatever the method that is available in new UI scroll UI selector, you can use that. UI selector, whatever the method available in this particular class, you can use this here. Text contains, text matches, all those stuff, and then you can find the element. Okay, so this is also passed. Let's again reload it, and then let's go to the build. This is the one that ran few seconds ago. Guys, when you are joining, give your full name, guys. I think there is someone joined with Oppo A9. So please give your full names or some name that I could understand. Okay. So it's clicked on views. It needs to scroll down and then it needs to click on ready group. Yes, it does now. So yeah, so that's all I want to cover with the Android UI Automator. Okay, this particular locating strategy. So you don't have CSS, you don't have all these things. Only you have the mentioned strategy. What are the strategy that we have used here? Accessibility ID, XPath, class name, and then your ID, and then the UI Automator. Amudan, where you have find this? Only this is applicable. Okay, if you go to any Apm logs, okay, if you are using your logs, then it will tell, let's say you want to run this. Maybe I'll go to this is the Apm logs, and then here Apm logs. I don't know whether the browser stack will reveal all the information of your Apm logs, or they will do some tweaking them from their side. But here it will clearly mentioned. It will be mentioned. So there is ADBing to the shell, and then there will be one command applicable locator strategy, and then it will start. Okay, post match, Google Pixel, the test. You can find that in the Apm logs. That's what I want to tell. Okay. So if you notice, this is the Android driver, Android UI Automator code that we used. It's all good. But it'll be there. Valid locating strategies will be there. Okay, and then you can use it. And then here you can go to the UI scrollable, and then you can try to explore scroll into view, scroll to the forward, scroll in, the scroll backward, all those stuff you can try. You can also use get child by instance. Yeah, these things and all you can try. But for us, the UI selector class is very important because even the UI scrollable accepts the UI selector. Okay. So basically you can use text contains as well. You can also use regular expression. Okay, I haven't tried it, so I will try it, that as well. You can use text starts with as well. Good. Now yesterday people are asking, I could not find the
Amadan, one question I have.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Amadan, actually, can we scroll like left, right, horizontally or vertically?
Yeah, we will do that. That is also
Okay.
possible. Because see, most of the apps will not allow you to scroll to the right or left, but we can do that using swipe actions. There is some gestures in mobile. We call it as touch action. There is a class called touch action. Using that, you can scroll to your right or left and other stuff. Okay, there is not only
Amadan,
the
one more question.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
I'm not at the end. I'll give full explanation. So the scrolling is not only possible using Android UI Automator. You can also scroll using other ways. Like I will teach those ways. Okay, using touch action class, we can do the swipe command. Basically, your scrolling down is also swipe command, right? If you swipe from bottom to top, it will actually scroll up, scrolling down, right? So you can also do that. We'll come to that. Okay, like in Selenium we have if you want to scroll down, you can use keys dot page down. You can also use your action class. You can also use your page JavaScript executor. The same way we have multiple options here. We will also explore them. One among them is UI Automator. Yeah, now you can ask your next question.
Yeah, Amadan, previous class you told like we can click, suppose we want to click list or we want to click view, like we can click also by some pointers, like inbound you are that day you are saying.
Bound. Yeah, we will come to that. We are not yet there.
Okay.
That is mobile gestures, right? Now what I am covering is I am covering one simple thing, that is different locating strategy. Okay, what are the different locating strategies available? Okay, locator strategy available. Okay, I have in next class we will see about mobile gestures. Okay, in this mobile gestures only we will see tab. Okay, and then tab using coordinates. Okay, and then we'll also see a long click. Okay, long click, and then what else we have? All the swiping operations. Okay, we'll see about them, and then drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop, all those stuff. Okay, these are all mobile gestures, pinching, all the stuff are mobile gestures. We will see that tomorrow. We are not yet there. Okay,
Okay, Muthan, thank you.
Okay, we are just focusing on different locator strategy in native app. For that, XPath, accessibility ID, class name, ID, and Android UI Automator. If someone is telling CSS, all those stuff, then people can understand in an interview that you have not learned APM. Okay, for native app, these 5 are the core locating strategies. Others will not work. Okay, your name, your CSS selector, and all won't work. Okay. And any more questions? Otherwise, I'll cover one topic that I was pending yesterday. So that is my actions. If you go to the actions, people are telling I cannot find the app package and app activity. And then you can go to the device, and then there will be something called as Android activity. Okay, or go to the app and then you can find it. So for that, you can also go here. So you can also get current activity. If you click on current activity, if you notice, it is bringing me .api demos. Okay, which is the one that we have used to connect to the device. Okay, .api demos. Okay, if you notice, this is the app activity that we found using that command prompt adb shell and that command. Okay, so you can also use this way to find it. Okay, if you want the package, get the current package. So it is telling io.apm.android.apis. Okay, you can also use that to find it. Again, guys, this can be only done if you have opened your inspector session. To open your inspector session, you want the APK file. At least you want the APK file at least to that to find this. So if I don't have the APK file, how can I find it? Then you have command prompt. That is your first option. Otherwise, there is one app called as APK info. Okay, in Play Store. From this app, if you download this app, it will list you all the apps that you have in your mobile with their Android package as well as the app activity. Using that, you can also find it. Okay, in real time scenarios, your developers will give this Android package and app activity, so you don't have to worry about this app package and app activity in real time. Okay, if you ask them, hey developer, I want the Android app package and my launchable activity, there can be lot of activities in an mobile mobile app, but I want the launchable activity that will be mostly having names like splash activity or login activity, something like that. Okay, so the name will be something like splash activity or login activity in most of the cases, if most people will name like that. Okay, so yeah, so basically using all these ways you can find it. Okay, so that's all I want to cover for today. And please go and explore this Android stuff as well. And then I have also given the links that from where I have picked all this stuff. So basically you can go ahead and then start using them. Okay, tomorrow we will come to the swipe and other stuff, other mobile gestures. And yeah, again I will open the forum questions. If you have any question, you can ask me now.
Amutan, hi.
Yeah.
Actually, we have automated, something like, the installation and, doing all the operations within the app. Like, can we do the operations, some pre-installed apps will be there, like File Manager, File Explorer,
Yeah, you can do
and
it.
okay.
You can do it. You just need to find the Android app package and the app activity. Okay, once you find the app package and the activity, launch it and then
Okay.
inspect using the Apm inspector, and
Mhm.
then you can find the elements and then you can perform some operations. You can do it. Many people will give only demo with your calculator. Okay, they use their calculator app inbuilt and then they will give a demo, or they will use a phone app. You can launch the phone app. You can call someone over it. You can launch some messages. All the stuff you can do. Whatever you told, opening files is also possible. Okay, that is also possible.
Okay. So in our future classes, are we will be covering any upload scenario, file upload, file download,
File
something like.
uploads, downloads and all, normally people won't do. In mobile app, it's not. Who,
Mhm.
can you tell me a mobile app, native
Mm,
app,
mm.
that you say that they are using a file upload?
Yes, Amutan. Like yesterday, the day before yesterday, I went to some office for this verification.
Mhm,
So they took my photo and that got uploaded in that. They have an app, inbuilt app there.
mhm.
So there, what they did was they took the photo for verification, and after taking photo, that they uploaded it from the this one. That
Yeah,
was their inbuilt. That was there for inbuilt for in-house purpose. They use that app, but it is not available for the public.
public, yeah, but you can build it. But most probably, if you take an example of Amazon, Flipkart, or your, all these big, normally we work for all those part of it. If you use your HDFC mobile banking, you have other softwares in your mobile, right? They don't ask you to upload something. Okay,
Yes.
that's the only thing. But if you want, there should be some cases where we can do, but they are not the best candidates for automation. Don't try to do everything with automation. If I practically worked on a lot of mobile apps. I never faced any situation where I have to upload a file to an app application. So I didn't know about it. If you want, I need to also learn, and then I need to teach you, because I have never worked on it. I have worked almost 6 years in Apm now, almost 5 years. I never worked on it. I have started during when Apm was 1.6 or something. Okay, it was almost 5 years back. Okay, and at the time it was very difficult to work with Apm. Now it has improved a lot. Okay,
Okay.
good. And yeah, that's what. Any other doubts? If you have,
Yes, Amitabh.
yeah.
When we are connecting to devices in browser stack, at that time, if we are not giving app and if we try with only app package and app activity, then it's not working. So in this case, like we have to always upload the app in browser stack and
Yeah,
use
yeah,
that
yeah,
word.
yeah. Because those browser stack does not have its app in that mobile. That's why they'll spin up a new mobile for you every time. Okay, I don't know how that works, but they don't have the app, that launchable, that activity and app package is not present in the mobile. Then how it will launch it? Okay, that's the only thing. Suppose even if you take another cloud providers, just let's say you are taking Perfecto or sauce labs, they will give you certain desired capabilities. Hey, if you want to use my cloud provider, my devices in my cloud, then use these desired capabilities. Okay, the desired capabilities section is very, very important. That's why I given a very good detailed explanation on that. Okay, so you please go through that. Okay, they may add few more things. They may use just one key. In browser stack they use username and key. In certain places like SaaS labs and all, they will use only the key. They will have very big key, and then they ask you to add it as a key value as key. Sorry, the key as let's say key, and then value as your that long password. Okay, so whatever they are telling, do that, then only it will launch the app. So, okay, you have to try it out yourself before the session ends. Try there some free versions. Okay, if you go to the Apm also, if you start a new inspector session, what are all the cloud providers that are available in the market. Okay, and then you try to check what are their availabilities. So if you know to select cloud providers, there are so many cloud providers. Some of them might be providing you the free version. Okay, like browser stack. Okay, please explore that. And at least if you are not able to do it, just go to the documentation, see what and all desired capabilities that you need to additionally add. And then, okay, I feel comfortable, I can do that. Tomorrow if my projects gets a experiment test product, I can work with it. Okay, otherwise if you're facing any issues, Amudan, hey, I don't know how to connect to experiment test, can you, they are giving some other details in the documentation, how can I understand? Ask me those questions, I can answer you. Okay, but it is impossible for me to explain all these things. Okay, that's why I covered browser stack. That is one of the important cloud provider. Others you can go and explore.
Sure.
Good. Any other stuff anybody wants to ask?
Yeah, Madan. Madan, in browser stack, today you shown like two project you have created, like two app you have uploaded. So how you did that one?
I didn't upload it to app where I
No,
uploaded.
I built one in Java Android demo.
I think this is your let's say we go here, and then this is the code that we're using, right? Project is test Java project, and then the build is Java Android demo, and then the build one, I think this is the one that I used before. I don't know. It somehow got there. Maybe
Okay, so Amadan, can we do like two application? Like if I'm running one in APK, one in activity, like app activity, can we see both in one desktop, or it's not possible like that?
I don't know. I don't know how. So you want to launch two different apps, and then first you want to do some operation in one app, then you want to go to another app and do some operation. Is that what
No,
you are telling?
No, Madan, like actually, if I have a ready-made APK, so
Mhm.
I want to like suppose build one is the ready-made APK, so I uploaded and I'm working. And so if tomorrow like I have the app activity, like I got Amazon app activity, so I want to create another project and I want to run.
Yeah, you can run. So
So
within that
how can
100
track?
minutes,
So how can I track that one? Like I'm not able to see that option. I think.
what you can try, I don't know, like exactly understand your question. You see, you go to this particular test, it is telling clearly where you are running this test, Android 9. Okay, the app package, installing the app, the app that we are telling, see, we are passing something called as app. Okay, that clearly indicates what app you want to do that operation. Okay, this is what we have learned yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so whenever you are uploading a new app, the browser stack will give you uh, so if you go to their browser stack, say I want to go to the app automator, click on this app automate, and then go to the, I don't want the dashboard view. How will I go back? So I don't want this. Let's stop this. So I can delete the build. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore. There are great dashboard experiences. I don't want my dashboard view. How can I
Yeah,
go
I
to?
want this one. Actually, Amudan, what you are saying, like actually I
Okay,
want another APK to upload. So this option is not coming. Like we have to delete and again we have to upload.
okay. I think you need to browse it, and then you need to again put the APK file here. Then it will give you new desired capabilities, and then you can work on it. Normally, it's not. We don't work on multiple apps. You will only work on one app, right? So I think you need to check with the browser stack how to do that. Okay, okay. Any other doubts from anyone?
Amutan, one more doubt. This it's a small request. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we cover those scenarios in our further upcoming classes? Can we cover that
What
uploading one,
scenarios?
that uploading a file and this
Uploading a
one?
file is is okay, but I need a mobile app, right? You need to tell me the mobile app. I am not an
Uh,
Android developer. I
yeah,
cannot.
there is one mobile app that
uh,
is a file compressor app.
okay,
There we'll upload a file and we'll compress that file. We'll get
okay,
it in Google Play.
okay. You download it. You try it yourself. If you are
Okay,
not,
okay,
just do some googling, okay?
okay,
And then how can I upload files to using Apm to a native app? You do
okay,
some googling. If you
okay,
cannot find it, you create some code. If you're stuck somewhere, then come to me. I'll also do some research and I'll tell you.
okay, okay,
Okay,
okay, okay,
because whatever I'm teaching is not the complete package of Apm. Okay, I am giving you strong basics which can give you an enough overview on how we can face a problem when you see it. Okay,
mhm,
so I have, if you take note of this Android thing that I have explained, this gives you enough idea. Okay, I want to match something using a regular expression. Okay, I can use this particular text matches method in a UI selector class. This is what I can provide, right? If you want to customize this, okay, maybe you want to check whether resource ID matches, you have to go and use all these things. Okay, basically I can give you just the way you need to walk in that way. So yeah, if you try it yourself, if you cannot, then please come to me, then I'll do it. Okay, you write some piece of code and then say this is not working, then I'll come and see it. Okay,
okay, okay,
that's okay. You can come up with the vague requirements, but please try it from your side and then give me some time. I'll also need to try, and then yeah, I will come back with the answer. Okay, good. uh, I think we'll close the session for questions. Then I'll stop the recording as well.